Hello, YouTube. How are you doing? Got various subjects to talk about today, and here we go. First, I'm going to talk about the Tamir Rice situation, where there's no justice, no LeBron, where everybody wants LeBron James to not play until the cop goes to jail. Well, if LeBron does that, he's going to forfeit all his contracts, and he got a kids to think about. He really can't do that. Now, the mother's saying she doesn't expect him to do that, but she wants him to instead, she wants him to wear a t-shirt or something. Now, LeBron answered it diplomatically by pretending like he didn't keep up with the situation, which that's all he can do because he got a family to think of. He really can't do this, which it'd be cool if he could, but he ain't got it like that, and I don't blame him. I got to admit, I do the same thing. I just flat out say on TV that, you know what, my prayers go out to her, and it's wrong what happened, but I can't forfeit all this money in these contracts. Y'all just going to have to call me a coon. I just keep 100. That's the way I do it. Another thing that needs to happen is, another thing that was talked about was the child support card on YouTube. They're making it in Delaware. They want to make it where you can only pay for school clothes and school supplies and children's clothes. And you have to give the child's shoe size and everything. I see where they're going with this, but I think it's a bad idea because when you're a mother, I grew up with a single mother. My parents were divorced. So sometimes they need gas. Sometimes you need the car fixed. You need certain bills paid, now certain things like that. Now, what I do think is if the woman's spending on Giuseppe's and Chanel and stuff, then that's a problem. Or if she is buying high-end beauty supplies and things like that, I see the point. I see their point there. But another thing, if they want to limit it, they need to do food also. They need to do food, car payments, or it should be some way. It should be like the auto body place, something like that. That should be okay. That's the way it really should be done. Another thing, the car gets destroyed when they're 13. They get a new car and it expires when they're 18. And you can't buy adult clothes and beauty products. Another thing I came across on YouTube was where white people meet. I don't think the guy's racist. I mean, we have black people meet. I get why they're doing it, but I don't think there's anything wrong with rooting for the home team. If he comes out and he says F black people or, oh, I don't like Negroes and all that, then he's wrong. Other than that, I don't see the problem. Alyssa Milano and Wendy Williams. I enjoyed that thoroughly. Alyssa Milano checked the hell out of Wendy Williams. And I don't blame her because Wendy got a way of talking to folks. She did. I will say this about Wendy. She is toning it down. She's not coming for people as hard. She talks about the whites the same way she does the blacks because she had a habit of just going in on black people and just kind of letting it slide with the white folks. She say little shady stuff about white folks, but she wouldn't go to town like a black person. Another problem, Alyssa Milano, she was talking about, I have a problem with you breastfeeding on Instagram. And she said, okay, but that's okay for you to show, what is that child's name? Miley Cyrus with suspenders covering her nipples. And she said, yep, because breasts are sexualized, blah, blah, blah. And so Alyssa Milano goes, well, you sexualize breasts, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. The only thing I have a problem with breastfeeding in public, I do think you should cover up your breast. But from the picture I saw on Instagram, the baby's big ass head was covering her breast. So if the big head is covering the breast, okay. But my problem is when women want to have the whole damn titty hanging out and the nipple covered and talking about eyes up here, Pookie. You can't take your big ass titty out and have a baby hanging off it and then be shy with somebody. Look, I'm a female and I got my own set. But when I see a chick with like D, G, and F size titties, I do be wondering, how does she feed the baby without the titty laying on the nose and eyes and stuff? I want to see how she feed this child or how she hold them. And then my other question is the baby going to drink all that damn milk? I mean, is they going to drink all the milk in one titty? Do they need to drink both titties? Because one D and up size breast is the size of my adult head. So I want to see how much of this milk this baby's going to drink. Having said that, she showed a picture of Coco T, Ice-T's wife. She just had a baby and everybody don't like how she still dresses very provocatively. Now the dress Coco had on was crazy. She had cutouts in the boobs area, cutouts all on the side. I mean, and then there was a mini dress on top of it. Now we all know Coco dresses like this. And then Wendy was talking about it's okay because just because your mother doesn't mean you stop being sexy. Now that I agree with. But I mean, I could tell she couldn't wear panties with this outfit. It was a bit much. I mean, I can't lie. If I had a body like that, I'd be half naked too. But that particular dress, I can see you having cutouts in the boob area. I can't see all on the sides too. That's a little much where the booty out. Now, I can't say too much because I liked when J-Lo had that see-through dress at the Met Gala. And you could see her hips and she could barely wear any panties. For some reason, I like, oh, you know what? It was a see-through mesh, illusion mesh dress, but it was long. So to me, if you gonna have illusion mesh or hole or cutouts, the dress should be long. It shouldn't be short and you got cutouts or it's illusion mesh. You just doing too much then. I think that if the dress was longer, I could kind of rock with it a little better, but Coco was doing too much, but I do like Coco. Now, I did agree on Wendy on that. Now, the other thing was I watched Tariq Nasheed's video and it called The Pregnancy Game. He made a lot of valid points. The only point I didn't agree with was how I know that women do set up dudes to be pregnant, to get pregnant and get money. Only thing I didn't agree with was him talking about getting an abortion or giving them up for adoption. I have a relationship with God. I can't call myself a Christian. But I do have a relationship with God. I do enjoy going to church when I went. I still read my Bible in the mornings and my devotionals. So I'm pro-life. And I believe that there's a where there's a will, there's a way. I believe everybody's put on this earth for a purpose. I don't believe in there being mistakes. He's right. A lot of women, it is, how do I put it? It is rare that you get pregnant while on birth control because each one has a 1% chance of you having a kid. I do think some people are not using anything or trying to trap a woman or a man or something like that. I do see his point there, but I just couldn't agree with him on the abortion or the adoption part. I don't judge folks who do that because I've never been in that situation, but I gotta admit, if I was in that situation, I'd keep my child and raise them and, do whatever the Lord placed on my heart or find their talents and gifts and teach them what they're here for. That's what I would do. He did bring up a valid point that men only have one form of birth control while women have 11 and up. Now, my only problem with that is men usually don't like wearing condoms. And so then they leave it all on the woman. I don't think the birth control should be all on the woman. Okay, I do think men should kind of be a little more careful and use condoms when they out with these women. I don't think it's all on the woman if she gets knocked up because it takes two to tango. Okay. I do agree that women are given all the rights and men are given all the responsibility. I do agree with that. He is right. Women do get away with, paternity fraud. He was right about that they don't put women in jail for paternity fraud. But it's a catch-22. If you do put women in jail, then there's nobody to raise the kids. That's kind of the situation. So I know that's why they can go on these shows like Maury and Jerry Springer and talk about and test all these different men and then look foolish when one of them ain't the daddy. Another thing, I know this is way off subject. Black people need to stop airing their dirty laundry and showing their natural black ass on TV. Okay, this is why black folks need to get behind the camera, get their own studios and make their own movies and get their own TV stations because all the black TV stations are really owned by a white company. Okay, that's why you getting these little BS shows where black people are showing their asses and not being good examples. I do think that we can't complain about our image when we continue to go on these shows and show our booty. I'm sorry, but all these hosts and all these white people are not in vans rolling through the hood with a gun or a fluent black neighborhood saying get in this van and air your dirty laundry and show your ass and humiliate yourself. Okay, so black folks need to stop doing that. They need to go on and make their own shit. And that way you have a balance of negative black people and positive black people. I know that was way off the subject, but since we was on it, I had to hit that. That is something that's always bothered me. Okay. He was talking about how some women are dateable and some aren't. He was talking about if you come from a family where 3 or 4 generations of your family is teen moms, you might want to watch out for that. Now, what I say to that is if you notice a balance, like when I have kids or if I intend to put my child on birth control. Okay, I don't. I hope she's in the age of 16. I prefer if she was 18 because she'll be an adult. I would want her to at least get out of high school, but all my friends started 13 and 14. I know how folks in my family are. Some of them teen moms, some aren't. So I just sit down, have a very thorough sex ed talk with my child and say, look, I might not be thrilled with it, but I'd rather you come home and ask me for birth control than say you were pregnant. So that's the way that's going to go. I nip that in the bud, especially if I was a single mom. She'd be going quickly. It's like, well, if I was out there hot when I was 13 or 14, it's like, she 13 or 14. Let me try to tell her, at least wait till you get out of high school. If you can't, come on, let's go to Planned Parenthood and get you some birth control or Metro or something. Metro Health is the little cheap clinic here in Cleveland, Ohio, just in case nobody knows. Also, you got Cleveland Clinic and free clinic here. So I'm just letting you know. When I'm making the reference to Metro, that's what I'm talking about. Because each cheap healthcare or doctor's office or hospital is different in each state. So I'm just letting y'all know that that's the cheap one here. It's Metro Health or Cleveland Clinic. He said teen moms show that they're irresponsible, they're not dateable. One with 2 kids out under age 30 is not dateable, and kids by different dudes is a woman that's not dateable. I don't think he dug, and sometimes he comes across really harsh, but what he's saying is true. He did make a disclaimer that you're dateable if you were in a long-term relationship or you were married when you got this child. So if you're under 30 with 2 kids, it's a little different. Or, well, he prefers 1 child, and I see his point, though. Because it is a lot to ask a man to help out with the kids. Then he also said he avoids baby mama and baby daddy drama. That's the thing with me, too. If I date somebody, I got to see. I might not want to meet the person, but I want to see what's going on. Okay, I don't want them coming to the house trying to fight and show they behind and all of that. So I see him on that, and he talked about how he hit the nail on the head talking about when you with a baby mama or baby daddy and they acting a fool, that's usually mean the person is still sleeping with them. That's why they over there acting a fool. Okay. I love the point he made about women having to watch who they sleep with, because to me, people aren't, they willy-nilly. They don't take into account you might have a kid with this person. So you do, like I have taken into account a lot of the folks in my family are crazy, including myself, So I can't go get somebody that's schizophrenic or got some mental issue. Then be like, oh, why my child acting like this? Well, you knew you was crazy, he was crazy. Why is you mad at the child? You got to try to meet the family and see if there's any crazy people. Or like I have skin allergies and I got the sinus and all this. I got to find somebody who don't have an allergy. You got to think of those things when you breathe or when you laying down with these folks. That's all I got to say. He does talk about how women don't get reprimanded for having 4, 5 baby daddies like when they go on the show, but they check the men. I sort of kind of see that. The women are wrong too, but I hate to say it, men have a tendency to sleep with women and not get to know them. That's kind of why men get reprimanded or get the short end of the stick, because it's like, well, a lot of times they go and do the one night stand stuff, or they'll know she crazy and they'll go on and sleep with her anyway. Then they want to whine and complain when they got a kid by her. Okay, YouTube, that's all I got to say. Have a nice day.